It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege of interviewing the ProBatter Sports CEO, Adam Battersby. How are you doing
Battersby,
today?
yes. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Can you talk
Great.
about how you knew that you wanted to get started in coming up with a sports product?
Yeah, so growing up, I had a pitching machine in our backyard. It was a two-wheel jugs machine where my father actually would feed the ball in. And it was a great machine, but sometimes the ball would come in, go through the wheel smoothly. Sometimes it wouldn't. And when they don't go through smoothly, it's kind of hard to time the ball. And then another thing is when you go from a fastball to a curveball to any other pitch, you adjust the dials, tilt the pitch head, and then throw some practice pitches, and you know exactly what's coming. It takes all the guesswork out of it. So we then took it a step further, made a three-wheel pitching machine. At the time, there's only three-wheel pitching machine around. How to create a whole pitch database. So whatever pitch there is, there's 10 different pitches, any speed, any location. You can just type that up and off you go within, seconds. You can get that pitch instead of turning dials and moving pitch heads and all that stuff. So it became a pretty cool product right from the get-go.
Of course, what was that experience like coming from your background of playing baseball growing up to building a baseball product?
It was pretty cool. I mean, I didn't get very far in my baseball career. I had problems with the curveball, which is another reason why we created the machine. But it was cool. I've been around baseball my life, and then when I stopped playing, it was you kind of missed it. So it was nice getting back into the sport, and just something I grew up playing and something I've always been around. So in that aspect, it was cool to do.
What is ProBatter Sports?
Yeah, so ProBatter Sports, we make video pitching machines. And what that is we put a video screen in front of a pitching machine. And then we have a projector showing a real life pitcher, right hand, left hand pitcher from the stretch, from the full windup. Basically, wind up before the ball comes out of a hole in the video screen. So it's the closest thing to real life at bats that you can take. And our machines also have a big color touchscreen. So whatever pitch you want. There's 10 different pitches. There's any speed from 40 to 100 miles an hour. Pitch to any location. You could do one pitch at a time. You could do repeat a pitch. You can do your own sequences. Really, whatever you want with that machine, you can get.
What are some of the pitches that your ProBatter Sports offers?
Yeah, so fastball, changeup, curveball, a second curveball, which is more of a 12 to 6 curveball, slurve, slider, splitter, cutter, sinker, two seam fastball. And I think that's it. There's 10 different pitches that we offer. So basically any pitch but a knuckleball, just because the knuckleball waffles so much, it's hard to locate it on the touchscreen. But it's 10 different pitches that we can offer.
What are some of the services that your product offers?
Services, well, it offers basically training to become a better baseball player and to learn how to hit the breaking pitches, which I can attest to. They're quite tricky. But yeah, that's the service we offer. The baseball simulators for training and also for fun.
What was it like coming up with a high-tech baseball pitching machine?
It was awesome. I mean, it was at the time we released it in 1999, and it was the coolest product out there. So it was a lot of fun. We went to a lot of different trade shows. We always had 20 by 80 booths with the machine throwing. And the reactions were great. I mean, everyone who saw it loved it. They want to hit against it. They want to challenge themselves and, see how fast they can hit, see the different breaking pitches they can hit. So it was awesome doing it. Really a lot of fun.
How has your high-tech pitching machine helped baseball teams prepare for game days?
Yeah, so it's helped in a lot of different ways. So if you're going to face a left-hand pitcher with a nasty, curveball, you can sit in that machine and throw as many lefty curveballs as you want, or till your hands start hurting, I guess, to get ready for certain pitchers, or if you're gonna pit fast, face a fast pitcher, who breaks 100 miles an hour. You can train with our machine before that game. And baseball, it's a lot of confidence. So, the more you train, the more confidence you're going to have, and then the better you're going to do in the game. So it's definitely helped a lot of players learn how to hit different pitches and get better, in the game.
How's it been like working with some of these baseball teams, whether they're professional baseball teams or on the college level, to bring your product to their facility?
It's been a lot of fun. Major League Baseball is kind of a tricky market, but it's been a lot of fun. It's a customer that you need to build credibility, but it's a tricky market. I mean, those guys make so much money. Some of them are set in their ways. Some are set T work and soft toss, and they got to that level, and they said, if it's not broke, why fix it? But there's some players out there that at that level who just love technology, love the challenge, love to get better. So it's really cool working with those guys. And then the college level, I mean, it's a lot of fun. All those guys they're younger guys, who haven't made it big and they're just really trying to get to the next step. And it's really fun to work with. So it's been a lot of fun working with both those athletes.
Who are some of the notable teams that you've had the privilege of working with?
Yeah, so we sold about 25 machines to professional baseball. That's over the years. Yankees have five, Indians or Guardians five, Dodgers, Mets, Red Sox, Rockies, Reds, Pirates. We sold a couple to the Rockies for both player training and for fan entertainment on the concourse. So that was pretty cool. And the Braves as well for the concourse. And then we also had some players as well. Some of the bigger name players are Trot Nixon, Jason Giambi. Also a slugger from the Mets who I'm not allowed to tell you who. But it's been a lot of fun selling to those guys.
What has it been like, obviously, getting to work with Major League Baseball teams like the Yankees and bringing your product to the Yankees?
What's it like to do it
Hmm.
or the process? Um, but it's fun. I mean, the Yankees. I grew up in Connecticut, so I'm about 45 minutes from Yankee Stadium. So I remember when that sale materialized. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. Drove down to Yankee Stadium, met with Brian Cashman. Went over the pros and cons of our machine. Walked into the batting cage where all those years. This is the old Yankee Stadium. That had so much history in it, and it was just really cool. And then when they moved stadiums, they then bought the current machine, and then they bought machines for all their affiliates. So it was definitely a fun sale. I mean, I'll tell you that much. There's so much history in that stadium. So, and actually, it changed me from a Met fan to a Yankees fan because when they bought all those machines, I had to follow them to see other hitters were doing if they're improving. So I guess you can say the Yankees bought me.
Of course, working with the Rockies, what has that been like? Obviously, having the players use your machine, but also having that fan experience where the Rockies have been able to have fans use that machine.
Yeah, so they put two machines in their concourse for their fans, and then years later, Dante Bichette was their hitting coach, and he bought a machine for his kids growing up in Florida. So when he became the hitting coach, he then bought a machine for the players to use. So that was really it was fun going out there, meeting with him and sitting down with him, and meet all the guys out there. That was a fun one as well.
What has it been like getting to create a baseball pitching machine and being a pioneer of inventing it?
Uh, it's been a fun ride. We knew at the time there was a need for the product, so we capitalized on it. Got the machine out, and it's been kind of fun watching different players use it and following the players and see how they improve and seeing them succeed on the baseball field. So it's been a fun journey.
What are some of the other sports that ProBatter Sports work has been able to use besides baseball?
Yeah, so we do softball and cricket as well. Cricket we got into because the UK national cricket team. They came to the US to see how the major league players trained in spring training. One of the coaches saw our machine. They said, "Wow, this thing's cool. Can you guys do it for cricket?" Now, we're all baseball guys, so we had to learn the sport of cricket. We had to sit down with the coaches, put their videos on our video screen, create the whole pitch database with the different kind of deliveries. They're not pitches, deliveries, which took me a little while to get used to. And then critique them and then get it out in the field to their players. And then it grew from there. One of the coaches from the UK team went to the Australian team. They bought a few machines and it just grew there. So we had like Dubai, India, New Zealand. So that's been definitely a cool expansion and an unexpected one.
What was that like, obviously going into the sport of cricket and bringing your machines into the sport of cricket?
It was a little weird at first, to be honest, because I never understood the sport. But that's not a bad thing, it taught me how the sport worked, the history of it, the rules and all that stuff, and expanded my knowledge. So it was good. It was nice to see how the international players trained and how they follow sports. And I mean, cricket is the number two biggest sport in the world behind soccer, and it's basically religion in India. Like it's huge, but you would never really know that in the U.S. So it was fun seeing how it's followed overseas.
What has that been like, obviously bringing this pro batter sports internationally and having different countries like India use your products?
It's great. I mean, we sell mostly to commercial batting cages and training centers, and there's a whole bunch in the U.S. But when you go internationally, it's a whole new. It just opens everything up. There's so many more potential clients and customers over there that it's not just good for business, but it's good to see athletes get better, at different sports. And I think now we have over 20 different countries. We had a sales rep in South Korea. I mean, I think he bought like 40 or 50 machines for his facility. So that was, that was definitely very helpful. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
What has that research process been like, creating your product and researching about how to use your product?
There was extensive research going into it because at the time in 1999, there weren't many things out there. So we had to do a lot of research. We had to hire different engineers and I think it was 8 engineers throughout the whole process. And every engineer brought something new and new ideas to the table and then that we implemented. And then it took a while. I mean, you would think it'd be easy to throw a baseball, but it was more involved because there's three wheels, there's actuators, there's controls, there's the video aspect of it, the touchscreen aspect of it. Um, so it took a while and it was a lot more expensive than we thought too, but at the end it was all worthwhile.
Of course, with it being a virtual reality, what have you been able to see with players getting to have that virtual reality of seeing the pitches?
It helps with their timing. Like I said earlier, it's hard to time a standard 2 or 3 wheel pitching machine without the video screen on because a lot of them, you follow the ball going down into the wheels and it doesn't always go smoothly. Or you're watching an arm, of a mechanical arm throw the ball at you with like a light system or a beeping system. So it's not the easiest thing. And with the video screen, it's not only a great training tool, but it's also a lot of fun. I mean, it's like a big video game and you just hitting and challenging yourself, and we think it's the greatest thing around, beside the greatest training tool out there right now.
With these minor league teams in baseball using your machine, how have you been able to see the minor league players adjust easier to the major league?
Yeah, so a lot of these young minor league players, I mean, they're coming out of high school or college and they don't see these nasty pitches that some of those major leaguers can throw. So our machine can throw all those nasty pitches. So a lot of times, I mean, they just sit in the box and they throw, say 20 splitters or 20 cutters and just follow and track the pitches, see the break, see how the flight of the pitches, just to kind of teach them how to hit it, and then they step up and hit the different pitches. A college or high school pitcher, they don't throw the nasty, pitches that the major leaguers throw. So with all the spin rates and all that stuff, so it definitely helps them excel quicker to become a major league player.
What have you
Also
been
weed some of the players out.
what have you been able to see with these players and seeing them practice using the machine and then transitioning it into their game?
Um, for like in practice,
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, in practice, they'll use the machine a whole lot, and they'll work on anything that's slowing them down. I remember years back, for example, Trot Nixon, one season he was hitting just I forgot the exact numbers, like 310 against right-hand pitchers and like 290 versus left-hand pitchers. So that all season he knew he had to work on the left-hand pitchers. So he bought a machine and just really just he put it in his buddy's batting cage and just spend hours upon hours upon hours against left-hand pitchers. And the next year, he did great against left-hand pitchers and signed a big bonus or a big contract. And so it's definitely helped him out that way. But also, it's not even the money aspect for these players. I mean, they want to do as good as they can in the field and then get to the World Series, the playoffs. So if it can help them get to that level, then, we succeeded, basically.
Who are some of the notable players that have been able to use your machine?
Yeah, the biggest ones are Trot Nixon and Jason Giambi. We had and actually John Buck, the old catcher for the Mets. Those are the bigger named ones. There's also another guy from the Mets. I can't disclose his name. But those are the bigger names. I mean, some of the, minor leaguers bought it, with their signing bonus to train on the off season with because they knew coming from college or high school would be a big jump. And it'll help them prepare for spring training. So some of those guys they're no longer playing the smaller guys, but it definitely helped them prepare, I would think.
With ProBatter Sports, what are some of the sports that you are planning on using products for in the future?
We've discussed a few internally. We're not quite sure yet. There's some ideas going around, maybe a tennis machine or something like that. You have a video image of a tennis player serving, and you have to, play the ball from there. We thought about that. A guy the other day mentioned a pickleball. Well, it was kind of just a joke, but um, we're not quite sure. I mean, we're still kind of expanding and trying to hit cricket as hard as we can, and then also the high school market has really opened up for us lately, so we're trying to hit that hard too, and then I guess we'll play it by ear from there.
Of course, with having the pro batters in the baseball sport, do you also have it also in the softball too?
Yeah, in softball we do. Yeah, yep. Yeah, so there's for softball, there's different age girls throwing to you, fast pitch, any speed, any location. And we sold a bunch of those. At first, the older model machine was kind of expensive for softball, so we didn't sell as many for softball. But now, with a lower price machine, we're selling definitely a lot more. So it's a nice increase in sales on the softball side.
What has it been like, obviously, seeing baseball players use the machine and using their pitching style versus switching over to the softball and having it do on the softball side?
So their pitching style.
Hmm.
So for between a baseball and a softball,
Yes.
it's well, it's. Can you repeat that question? Actually,
Hmm. What is it like as the owner having baseball teams use your machine and using the baseball style of pitching versus seeing your softball teams use the softball side of their pitching?
well, it's just the different arm angles and the different pitches. The softball, I didn't really know a whole lot about softball before our machine, and the different breaks and spins of the different pitches. I mean, they're interesting. I remember I was catching the video shoot from a softball player. She was a Florida State pitcher, a Thai Olympic pitcher, and I was catching, and I was used to the baseball release point. And when she was throwing underhand at 70 miles an hour, it was interesting watching the different breaks. I mean, I never caught a softball curveball or screwball or riser before, so I was able to learn how the different breaks are for the baseball against the softball. And I will say that rise ball for softball is pretty nasty.
Of course, with the future sports that you are planning on using, what are some of your other future plans that you plan on having?
Future plans, right off the bat, just make the best machine we can, the most reliable, the cheapest machine that we can. Um, that is always the number one goal for us because our machine is more expensive than a typical, just wheel pitching machine. So we're always trying to improve on the quality. the 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 videos. We did another video shoot the other day. Get just different looks from different pitchers. Tall, shorter, different windups, all that stuff. We're always critiquing our pitch database and making sure that everything's realistic. It's always looking to improve. Whatever we can. We will to make it more durable and last longer.
What advice would you give those sports business owners out there looking to invent a sports product to help the sports in the future?
Yes, do your research. Talk to a lot of people. I mean, talk to a lot of coaches, show them your idea, get feedback, both good and bad. And basically, the feedback's very important. If some coaches, give you bad feedback, fine. That's great. Ask them why they think that and try to improve on it because, you know, bad feedback's always a good thing too. It helps you get better, helps your product get better. But also, talk to a lot of coaches network. It's always great to know coaches to help out because they can give you referrals, recommendations. They can, help test the machine, all that stuff. But definitely do your research and make sure there's a market for it. If there's no market for it, it's hard to sell it. I mean, looking back when we started it, we knew we wanted to do it, but at the time when we first started, our machine was $75,000, and the market is small for that size machine. So over the years, we had to come down on price and just selling the Major League Baseball. I mean, that's not going to cut it because there's only 32 teams, and even with the minor league teams, it'd be hard to cut it. So we had to make sure our machine was available for commercial batting cages and private use and travel teams and cricket and softball. Make sure the market's big enough for your product.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find your product at and find your company at on social media?
Yeah, ProBatter.com. That's our website. And if anyone has any questions, they can simply email sales@ProBatter.com or give the office a call at 203-874-2500. And either myself or anyone here can help you out.
Thank you again, Adam Battersby, for your interview and best luck in your future with ProBatter Sports.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Adam Battersby, for your interview and best luck in your future.
Thank you. Good luck to you as well.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.